Hey guys, happy Thursday. It is the last day of the week, so that's awesome. Here we have our magma problem. So I'm going to read it to you just for fun, and then I'm going to give you some hints if you need to access this video because you're at a loss of where to start. The first thing you need to know is that there are three problems. This first one about percentages, easily done. Here, um, area. Areas pretty okay. We're using the area of a square and the area of a circle, so not bad. And then lastly, the volume of magma. So let's get our situation here. You may not have realized it, but Oregon has 4 of the 18 most active volcanoes in the United States. 4 out of 18. What percent of the country's most active volcanoes are not in Oregon? And then express your answer to the nearest whole percent. Remember, the way that we get percentages is we take the top number divided by the bottom number in our fraction. Easy peasy. That one should be fairly straightforward for you. Now, in addition to the known volcanoes in Oregon, a bulge that is rising out of the ground is catching the eye of scientists. The land area that the bulge covers is quite significant. It's estimated to cover 100 square miles. So 100 square miles. If that land were in the shape of a square, there we go, square, what would be the perimeter of that square in miles? So the area itself is, well, let's see if I can do this, is 100 square miles. What would the perimeter then be? What would be around the outside here? Sorry, just something came up. So what would be around the outside of that? If we were going to build, a fence to keep people away from the potential zit pop that is a volcano on the surface of the earth, how big would that fence have to be? Now, if instead it was a nice pretty circle that had an area of 100 miles, 100 square miles, I should say. If that were the case, oh dear. If that were the case, then what would be the circumference of that? So a couple things that you need to remember. Cherry pie is delicious, apple pies are too. Remember what that means. Cherry, oh dear, why is it yellow? Oh, because I made it yellow. Cherry pies, delicious. So the circumference is pi times the diameter. Apple pies are 2. Area equals pi r squared. So this is just like the problem that we did yesterday as far as trying to find the missing dimension. What would be the circumference? Well, we would need to know the radius so we can determine the diameter, just twice as big. And then we use pi. Okay. So those are things that you need to know about that one. I'm going to leave these two formulas on here so that you have that. Now, last thing, it is believed that the bulge that is forming is probably a result of a pool of magma collecting below the Earth's surface, and that amount of magma is equal in size to a lake 1 mile across and 65 feet deep. Now, lake bottoms are not exactly perfectly the shape of a cone, but we'll assume that it's the shape of a cone for our estimation purposes. So what is the volume in cubic feet of a right cone with a diameter of 1 mile and a height of 65 feet? And we want to express your answer in the nearest, in the nearest million cubic feet. So 1 mile, your radius, or I'm sorry, your diameter is not going to be 1 mile. It's going to be in feet. And so I will help you remember what the exchange rate is between miles and feet. There we go. All right, nice. So that's what we're looking for. The there we go. So this part right here, I don't know if you can see my mouse. This part right here is a mile across, and 1 mile, and it's yellow again. I'm gonna keep messing up. 1 mile is 5280 feet. And so that's going to tell you what that length is, the diameter's length. And then the height, that depth there is 65 feet. So this far down, let's get a different color. This far down is 65 feet. Just pretend that that's straight, okay? And so you want to find the volume of that magma. All right, so that's pretty much all there is to it. You guys make sure that you turn this in by noon tomorrow, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.